Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be getting ready using the ABH and Aina palette, specifically focusing on this pink look. Pink was the color my daughter's suggested for today, so it's the color we're using. So if you'd like to see how to get this look and the products that I used, just keep watching. Hi there, so today we're going to really focus on the Aina palette. My daughter requested a pink look, so I'm going to focus on these two shades. But first, let's get my face together. So today is Monday. It is actually the last week of school for my children. I'm using first the Hard Candy Smoothing Primer, which is similar to the Tatcha Primer, or so I'm told, at Filling in Pores. And I'll get a little closer to the camera so you can see. I'll do half my face. Anyway, so today is the last week of school for my children. I technically have a few more days, another week of school, although, so I guess our kind of last day is Friday, but because I teach seniors, my week kind of ended already. Okay, let's look at the difference. So in real life, I can see the difference. Can you see the difference? Let's see. This is really close. But pores, not as many pores. Darkness. I'll fix that. Anyway, so I'm going to do the other side of my face. So I'm not really sure why I'm so dark underneath the eyes today, but I am a little bit tired. So I have nowhere to go. That's not true. We have to go pick up a costume for my daughter's recital. That's not happening. And we have our final goodbye at their elementary school, which sounds like so depressing, seeing as how they're going to be back in the school next year, Lineage. But the final time to say goodbye to their teachers, and the PTO has a gift for them, which is very cute. Okay, I'm going to use my Futurist foundation. I've been using, I just want to show you, the Josie Maran Vibrancy foundation. I really, really like this, but I'm not in the mood to put on a separate SPF because I'm feeling lazy today, and I didn't put it on, and it's upstairs. So I'm just going to use this, and it has SPF 45. Now, I learned something from Wayne Goss, who is a great makeup artist. He also has I think he came out with lipsticks too, but he has a pretty famous line of brushes. He's great. He's on YouTube, and he talked about how the biggest lie we're told from foundation companies is this SPF thing, because I did not just put on enough SPF, enough foundation to have gotten me to that 45 SPF that they promise. And ever since he said that, I have become much more careful about putting a separate sunscreen on and trying to put the appropriate amount, and then putting this, because you have to use like 5 mLs, which is a pretty big amount of foundation. So I realized that if we go out to the pool today, I'm going to need to put some more SPF on. And there you go. If you don't follow him, you should. He's great. So my point of mentioning that I don't really have anywhere to go today is I fully committed myself to wearing my husband's white t-shirts. I love them. I feel like I have been missing out, and I'm not sure what have I been wearing if not for his t-shirts. This is the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer in the shade Light Sand. Number one, these shirts are shockingly soft. This is the Lucky brand shirt. I don't think it really matters, but anyway, so soft. Number two, the fit is so much better than female shirts. Shirts for females? Women's shirts? Whatever word I'm trying to say. Oh my goodness. I highly recommend it, people. If you don't have a man's t-shirt, get one today. They have them at Target. Target's been open this whole time. But I love it. So I'm trying to dress it up a little bit with my fancy earrings that my friend Allison gave me. And I love them. And hopefully that will be enough, because that and my my joggers is what's being worn today. That's it. Alright, this is much better, my face. Okay, I'm still using the hello setup. Boots number 7, Triple Action Translucent Finishing Powder in light. This is like a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury finishing powder. I've been liking it well enough under my eyes, but I like it much better with a sponge. I do feel like sometimes I still need to use that setting spray tip. I'll actually do it right now, where you take a little bit of setting spray and you tap it in. I'm going to use the Pretty Fresh makeup spray by ColourPop. I like this setting spray, but if I'm totally honest, I don't remember to put setting spray on most days, because you really should put it on before you do your mascara or you'll get spots all over yourself, and by the time I'm putting on mascara, it's like the last step that I do, so I don't usually remember to put it on. But I should. It does help. I will tell you one other tip before I go on with the rest of my makeup, which is for a long time I was very concerned about like my makeup lasting. I'm using the Fenty Beauty bronzer in Shady Biz. I've been using this a lot lately. So I was very concerned about my makeup lasting, and I kept trying to buy products that would make my makeup last. I would use primers and setting sprays like the All Nighter from Urban Decay. And then I realized one of the reasons that my makeup particularly wore off is because I touch my face a lot. I became very conscious of that, and how often, like when I'm teaching, I touch my face. When I'm listening to someone, how often I'm like resting my hand on my face. And since becoming aware of that, I'm much better about it, and my makeup lasts shockingly much longer. So I would suggest that you try to think about that. I wonder if, now that we're going to be wearing masks, or we are wearing masks more often, I bet you a bunch of people aren't even wearing makeup, but I feel like wearing a mask has really taught me, or has made me aware of different ways that I like move my face, how often I try to communicate with just my mouth, and then I can't communicate that way. We were at a, did I say this already? I can't remember, but anyway, we were at a senior, like, come get your stuff kind of thing, and everyone's wearing sunglasses and masks, and I kept trying to communicate with people, but they couldn't see my eyes, and they couldn't see my mouth, so pretty much, if they were far away, I couldn't even show them, like, I'm smiling at you, or I'm trying to give you some encouragement. And the other thing I recognize is how much I naturally touch people. Not in a naughty way, calm down. But, like, I often, like, pat people on the back, or I, like, touch their arm when I'm speaking to them. It's just, like, a natural thing I do, and I am aware of it when I teach. Like, I try not to, like, touch the students. But there are definitely, like, just some kids you, like, pat in the back, or you're, you know, as you're speaking to them, whatever. But I recognize now how that needs to kind of go away, because I feel like we've just become more aware of the things that we do that could spread germs or put people in jeopardy. So that was the Kissing a Frog blush from ColourPop. I love this. Very cute. All right, so now that I feel alive, we're going to try to do this pink look. Oh, let me do my brows first. My children are upstairs. So, are you guys going on vacation this summer? I wonder about all those vacations. People going to Disney, and people taking beach vacations. Are you still taking them? Where am I going with this brow? Let's fix this. That just got intense. What brow products are you guys using? Like, do you have any good tips for some? I am looking for an easy pencil to use. I do not like the Benefit one, and I used the Anastasia one so long ago. I think it was good. I just don't really totally remember it. But is there a brow pencil that you would recommend? If you do, please leave it down below. This is the Anastasia brow powder in dark brown. They worked hard on that naming. What I like about this is that, sorry for the mirror, What I like about this are the two shades, because you can make it a little more cool tone. Sometimes browns are quite reddish, and I have actually red highlights in my hair, so a reddish wouldn't be so bad, but it's nice that you can make it a little more cool toned. And now I'm just going to fill in my little bald spot that you see there. This Gimme Brow is so old. I need to buy a new one. And then, because I'm crazy, I'm going to use some Anastasia Clear Brow Gel, because I'm going to see if that helps my brows look a little bit better during the day. Okay, so now it's time to do my eyes. So I'm going to start with Milani primer and just put a little bit on. You don't need much. Did I just flip you off? I'm not sure. Now is the moment where I realized I should have done my nails. I had a thought. I had that thought, but I didn't do it. Okay, so we're going to go into this palette. I think today I'm going to try to use the brush a little bit that it comes with. I have liked some of the brushes that, you know, the ones in the Naked palettes from Urban Decay were great, and this one feels pretty good. So we're going to try the fatter end of this brush, and because I'm doing a pink look, I'm not going to ground it in ginger, which is what I usually use every time I dip into this palette. I'm just going to go right into that lighter pink. It's called Supreme. And I'm just going to start the eye with that. And this brush is doing a pretty great job. Sorry if you hear my kids upstairs. It is iPad time. As I have mentioned, iPad time is sacred time in my house. It's when I can sit for about 20 minutes without somebody asking me to eat. So this is just about a dip and a half. I don't dip too much. I'm more of a builder of color than a blender. So some people like really dig into their pans and then they have to blend for a long time. I would rather dip slowly. Now, what in God's name is that? I don't even know what that was. I don't think it was from my brush. So both eyes look pretty even to me with that color. So that one's pretty bright. And now I'm going to dip into pinker. This color right here. And I'm going to use the other side of the brush, which is flatter. I've never used this brush before, so I don't actually know what's going to happen. And I'm going to put it in the outer third of my eye. Brush is doing well. Now when I say the brush is doing well, some of you may not know what I really mean by that. I just mean that it's easily blending out. I don't have, like, can you see right there this little skipping? That's because of how I just placed it on my eye. I'm wearing contacts, so I'm trying to be pretty gentle with it. But a nice brush is going to blend that out really easily and kind of fix some of your mistakes. So that blend is much better, and I'm hardly touching my face or my eye. But I've touched it enough to move my my contact. Now I can't see.
Just gonna build up a little bit more. Might switch to the other side of the brush just for a quick blend. I'm still using the same brush that this came with. Okay.
Alright, so when I look directly at you, you can see a little bit of my lid, and then you can see that I have a little bit of a hood. Like, you're not seeing my entire lid when my eye is open, and if I tilt my head down, it really disappears quite a bit. So that's called a hooded eye, although I don't have a full hooded eye yet. I will probably at some point. So if you're a person that's naturally born with a hooded eye, one of my daughters has this, what you're going to do is just concentrate more of the color above your crease so that when you're looking straight at a person, you can see some of the color. And then obviously when you close your eyes, you're still able to see color, but you do want some when you're looking straight onto the person. So that's why I bring my color up a little bit so that you're able to see with my eye open. I don't usually bring it all the way up to my eyebrow because I just think that's a little more intense than what I personally like, but people do and it looks great. But I would just make sure if you have hooded eyes, you just bring your eyeshadow up to this part, the more fleshy part, and so that people can see the color. The other suggestion that I would give you if you have hooded eyes is be careful about how much you line your lid, because that's going to even decrease your lid space even more. So think about lining underneath. It's really kind of gross to show you, but I'm going to do it. But you're going to line under here. Now I am not that light part that you just saw. I do not personally love lining that part of my eye because I wear contacts and because it kind of hurts. I see some YouTubers like just run in there with no problem. I'm not that kind of YouTuber. I'm not even sure I am a YouTuber. Anyway, but just consider lining that water line instead of your actual lid. Okay, so now I'm trying to decide which of the shimmers I'm going to put on my eye. And I think that we're going to do Soleil. So like I've said before, I always use my finger to apply shimmers. And this one is such an intense one. It's beautiful. Now I will sometimes go and still blend it out with a brush, but I think you can do a really great job just blending with your finger. I'm going to take my brush again and just blend that out. Okay, great. So now let's do some work on the lower lash lid. Lower lash line. I can use this brush, but I think this is a little fat for my personal lower lash line. So I'm going to use this Morphe brush, which might be an E2, I'm not sure. It's just round and domed. I have one that's much smaller. This one from ABH Studio. It's an E134. I got this in a box charm. It's so pointed. It's pretty good for inner corner work, but it's a little bit too pointed for what I want to do for my lower lash line. So one of the major tips for just some easy eyeshadowing, is that a verb? Anyway, is whatever you do on the top, you do at the bottom. So I started with the color Supreme, that lighter pink. So I'm going to start, well, actually, I probably should reverse it. I should start with the darker color, but I like to live on the edge. So I'm going to put that under my eye first. And this is what I normally do. I use the transition shade first, or that color, basically the color I started. I'm going to run that right under the eye. And then I am going to take this pointed one that I was just talking about. I'm going to use that with the color Pinker. Get a little bit on my brush. I always tap off the excess, and that helps it not tap off on your face. And I'm just going to put that in the outer corner. Now with this brush, because it's so pointed, I'm really like tapping and dragging. I'm not blending. Okay, and then I just want to finish by, I got this brush. I love, love, love this brush. This is from Primark, which I'm not sure if everyone has around them. I think the store is originally from the UK, but we have it in a mall near me. And I'm just going to use that with the color Soleil. What is this color? S-O-L-E-I-L. I'm calling it Soleil. I don't know what it's called. I better find out. But I'm just going to put that in my inner corner. And there we go. There's a completed look. So I don't think I'm going to use eyeliner today because I'm not really in the mood. So I'm going to use my Pat McGrath mascara. This is a sample size. Okay, and then for the past couple of days, maybe it's just been one day, I've been using the Thrive Cosmetics lash, what's this called? Liquid Lash Extensions Mascara. I have a sample of this. So I've been getting some darkness under my eyes, and I'm trying to determine, is it my lower lash mascara, is it my eyeliner, or is it the Pat McGrath mascara? And I think I've determined it's either the eyeliner or the CoverGirl Clump Crusher, or the CoverGirl, it might be the CoverGirl Clump Crusher. That's what I've kind of determined, because when I have put this on, I haven't had any problems with my lower lashes. This is a like a tubing mascara. There's a really great one from the drugstore. It might be Revlon, and it's red on one side and white on the other. That one's great. It's inexpensive, works just as well. And tubing mascaras, what happens is when the mascara comes off, they look like little black ribbons, but that only happens once they like get wet or you're using. See the difference? Can you see the difference? Can you see the difference? That only happens when you, you know, are washing them off. But the good thing is they don't smudge. And I would rather have a little black, like, speck that I can just wipe off my face really quickly than a black smudge, obviously, that I then have to, like, fix. So I really like these. And then sometimes with the extra, I'll just go over my lashes to comb through. And then, obviously, this would coat the lashes with kind of those fiber tubes or whatever they're called. All right, so that's the finished eye look. Let's put on a lipstick. You know what I always forget to take out? A lipstick. Hang on, let me get one. I got this the other day. This is the Milani Ludicrous lip gloss, and this one is in Fanny Pack. I buy a lot of stuff at CVS just because we get pharmacy stuff there, and I don't know, I find myself, I'm always there. And so I get a lot of extra care bucks, and they have good deals and whatever. So I always love using that to buy makeup. I feel like that's a really, it's a good way to use my money, or my free money. So these lip glosses are incredibly glossy, and they're quite comfortable. So let's see how this color looks. Okay, feeling like a Barbie. This might be a little much, but we're gonna do this. All right, so now I'm just going to check my face. As Allie Gline says, I'm going to assess the situation. So I have a little bit of mascara, if you can see that. So we're going to take a Q-tip. We're going to be patient, not wipe it off yet. So I'm going to talk to you. What else do I want to say? I don't really have anything. Are you reading anything good? I want to read some books that don't make me think too much. This was a bad idea. Let's not use that one again. We'll do this. I want to read some books that are not heavy, that are just enjoyable to read. So does anyone, if you have any suggestions, leave them down below. Let's do this cleanup time while I tell you about books I've read. So one book that I absolutely love is called I Know Why the Crawdads Sing. I Know Why the Crawdads Sing. It is phenomenal. It is crazy. When it ended, I just desperately wanted to talk to somebody else who read the book because it has such a good ending. I would highly recommend that. Mysterious. It's about a woman or a girl growing up, and it's just a phenomenal book. Love it. The second book that I will recommend is Beneath a Scarlet Sky. Such a beautiful book. I really love Holocaust literature, or literature that happens during the time of the Holocaust. I'm just going to use a little more bit Soleil because I smudged some of it out. I love it because I feel like the Holocaust is such an enormous thing that my brain can't actually process when I listen to the numbers of the people who died and the inhumane things that the Nazis did and the inhumane ways regular people treated others. And so the only way that I've been able to understand, and I put that in major quotes because I don't understand it, but the only way I've been able to approach, let me use that, the only way I've been able to approach the Holocaust is through literature, fiction or nonfiction, where I'm able to follow one individual story, and then that makes the situation that much more heartbreaking, but that much more understandable. It is no longer so large that I can't fathom it. So Beneath the Scarlet Sky actually takes place in Italy, and it is about a young man named Pino Lella, who is a real person. They're actually making a movie on this, and the things that he does to fight for the resistance and also save the Jews in Italy. And it is powerful. It's amazing. I listened to it on Audible. It was phenomenal. So that's my second recommendation. So I'm just going to clean this up. And now I'm done. All right, I hope you liked I hope you liked this tutorial. I don't know if it was a tutorial or a get ready with me. I'm not really sure what I'm doing. But anyway, here's a pink look using the Jackie Aina palette. I really recommend this. It's a great one. So I hope everyone has a great day. Please consider subscribing and comment down below with any book recommendations or any suggestions for future videos. I hope everyone has a wonderful day. Bye-bye.